So before this NBA season started, we put out a handful of prediction videos, and some predictions were right, some predictions were wrong. I'll tell you what, my prediction about the Grizzlies missing the playoffs is aging like a fine wine. But one of the predictions we both missed on so far has been the Dallas Mavericks.
I mean, coming off the end of last year, they trade for Kyrie. They don't even make the play-in game. And this year, they have completely turned things around.
But are they for real? Let's talk about it. Before we start talking about the Mavericks, if you haven't already, make sure you leave this video a like, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. Now, the Mavericks were just beaten by the Clippers on Saturday night, but you know what? A 10-6 start to the season, can't really complain about that. And neither of us really expected much from the Mavericks this season. They're coming off a, frankly, awful 2023 season where, like you said, they missed the play-in entirely despite trading for Kyrie when they were 30-26. That was the 4th best record in the West at the time.
Yeah, shit just did not work out. We were really questioning, like, is this Luka and Kyrie pairing gonna work? I mean, we've seen so many guards, star guard pairings that aren't good on defense just completely flame out, but credit to the front office, credit to Jason Kidd, and credit to both of them. They completely turned things around. Their offense is cooking now.
Even with all those moves in the offseason, neither of us really thought much of them. I mean, I thought they'd be fighting for a play-in team. You thought they'd miss the playoffs entirely.
I didn't think they'd make the playoffs. I didn't say they weren't gonna make the play-in.
Okay.
I didn't think they'd make the playoffs, and yeah, I mean, the West is so tough. It's so tough to judge, like, who's going to be good, who's not. I mean, who knows? Maybe in 2 months they're down to, like, the 8th seed and they don't make the playoffs, but for now, yeah, that's not looking like a good take.
As of now, they've gotten off to a 10-6 start. Certainly have exceeded our expectations, but what's interesting is that the dirty little secret about this team is that they're kind of playing the exact same way they did last year. Their offense is still amazing, one of the best in the league, and according to their offensive rating, it's even better than it was last year, and their defense still fucking sucks. According to defensive rating, even worse than last year. So they're basically playing the exact same way they did last year.
Yeah, not entirely surprising. I mean, it's Luka Doncic. The dude has one of the highest usage ratings of all time, but credit to him, he's playing like an absolute MVP candidate. And I think so far, if I had to pick, he's my MVP pick. I mean, 30 points a game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. The dude is shooting lights out from 3, 40% so far. That is beyond a career high at this point. So Luka Doncic, like I said, he's my MVP pick at this moment.
Yeah, I put him as the 9th best player in the NBA.
Crazy.
We're not even 20 games in. I'm gonna call it now. That was a miss.
Yeah, that might have been a miss.
Might have been. It was a miss. It was a bad miss.
Then you got Kyrie. He's not blowing things away like on the stat sheet, but credit to Kyrie. I mean, the dude has fit perfectly with Luka Doncic for a guy who's used to creating his own shot, having the ball in his hands a lot. He has taken a bit of a back seat, but it's worked out perfectly for them so far.
Yeah, he's not putting up insane numbers by any means, but he's kind of given the Mavericks, I think, exactly what they need. You know, he's 24 points per game. He's shooting around 48% from the field. He's shooting around 40% from 3. He's giving them timely clutch shots. Just hit a clutch shot a couple days ago to beat the Lakers. So Kyrie, like you said, he's not blowing you away by any means, but he's doing exactly what you need him to.
And we got to give him credit. Nothing off the court.
So far, nothing.
Random stories, anything happening. He's just keeping it cool and he's hooping out there.
Also, Grant Williams has been a really welcome addition. Solid defender, shooting 44.3% from 3 on basically 6 attempts a game. Like, he is exactly what they needed.
Oh yeah, he's the perfect player to pair with Luka and Kyrie because he just hits threes and plays great defense. That's hard to find in the NBA. They got him on a very good contract. I think it was like 4 years, $54 million or something. So great pickup by the Mavericks.
Then you got a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr., just kind of a spark plug off the bench, 17.5 points per game on basically 40% shooting from 3. And this has really been the key for the Mavericks. Their 3-point shooting, they lead the league in threes made per game at 16.7. The next highest is the Pacers at 15.7. So they're making a full 3 more than the second place team in the NBA. They basically have 4 guys who are shooting above 40% from 3. They got Luka, they got Kyrie, they got Grant Williams, and they got Hardaway.
And then you got Derrick Jones Jr., who we saw him play for like a year. He's even shooting 37% from 3. So basically, besides Derek Lively, everyone in that starting 5 can knock down an open 3.
So the Mavericks, they look pretty good so far, but of course, we gotta bring up some concerns. Now, the Mavericks schedule so far has been, I would argue, pretty light. I mean, if you look at their schedule, what really are their high quality wins? At Orlando, because Orlando, in case you haven't noticed, is fucking cooking right now. Against the Clippers at home, on the road at the Lakers. I mean, outside of that, it's a lot of San Antonio, Memphis, the Pelicans, the Wizards. Like, Dallas's schedule so far has not been particularly great.
Also, their division fucking sucks.
It's probably the worst in the NBA.
Yeah, it's a good thing for them. I mean, that's a lot of easy wins. You got San Antonio, who's not playing good basketball whatsoever. Memphis, like you said, brilliant take saying they were going to miss the playoffs because they are absolute shit. Then you got like OKC and the Pelicans, obviously solid teams, but a bit younger, really easy ass division.
Yeah, and they still haven't played the Wolves, Thunder, Nuggets, Suns, Celtics, Sixers. I mean, you get the picture. Their schedule has not been supremely difficult so far.
And one of the main points I've thought of, I mean, in the West, where does it go through? It goes through Jokic. I mean, until they lose, until they get knocked off, it goes through Jokic. The Mavericks, they've added, Derek Lively or Sean Holmes, but they really lack size completely. I mean, you got Grant Williams besides that in the front court, Dwight Powell, I mean, you do not want him guarding Jokic. So I think come playoff time, if you match up against the Nuggets with Jokic, against the Lakers with AD, I don't like how it looks for them just because they do not have the front court depth to guard those guys.
Even going up against like the Wolves with Cat and Gobert. The biggest problem though, we think for the Mavericks, look, it's just their style of play. Their complete lack of defense and their over-reliance on threes. It's not a concern now, but it will be in the future. And look, we saw this for years with Dame and CJ. Fucking like season after season, the Blazers consistently had one of the best offenses in the NBA. Wasn't there one year we had the best offense like of all time?
Yeah, or it was at least second ever. I think it was that 2021 season, that Blazer team I hyped up.
Yeah, exactly. Best Blazer team of all time,
They
right?
are, yeah. Best offense ever.
But our defense always fucking sucked. And basically in the playoffs every year except for 2019, it led to a first round exit. Now, look, Luka's better than Dame, and Kyrie is better than CJ. So if you want to make the argument that this Mavericks team could go further than those Blazers teams, I think you can make that argument. But in terms of winning a championship, I think they have to improve their defense. I don't think you're winning a title with two ball-dominant scoring guards who can't play any defense at all. Because in the playoffs, we all know it gets tighter, it gets more physical, refs swallow their whistles.
Yeah, I completely agree. And yeah, like you said, Luka obviously way better than Dame and Kyrie better than CJ. So we do have to mention that. But at their current place, their current roster, I'd say their peak, their ceiling is probably like a conference finals team. But you never know, like they could make a trade. Siakam, I think, would be a fantastic fit. OG there for some defense. Like they are kind of like a piece away from being like a borderline contender. So if they make a trade, maybe something could happen. But for now, yeah, I think they have a ceiling around that conference finals range.
Also, it needs to be said, you have to expect some of these three-point shooting numbers to fall back to earth a little bit. I mean, Luka, Grant Williams, and Derek Jones are all shooting way above their career, like 5 percentage points above their career averages. Like, I don't know if Luka's is gonna fall back that far. I don't know if Grant Williams is gonna fall back that far. Derek Jones shooting 37% from three is not going to last.
No shot.
I'm sorry, it's just not gonna last. So in conclusion, Dallas, look, they're doing way better than I think either of us expected them to do. Luka and Kyrie are carrying right now on offense, but the fact that they really haven't gotten better on defense, and also the fact that they're kind of doing this against a lightweight schedule, I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the West is so damn tough.
It's brutal.
That it's like almost impossible to win it unless you have a perfect team, but you never know. Let's see if they can make a trade. Luka is one of the best players in the entire world, so I'm not going to count them out completely, but as of right now, they're not in the contender range yet. I'm sorry.
That's the video, guys. What do you think of the Mavericks this year? I'd love your chat to say in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving it a like, as it really does help us out. And while you're here, why not check out some of our other videos as well? And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.